And we ask you to honor his memory by continuing the fight for the values he lived by. People everywhere are sharing tributes. We'll have some of those in a minute.
But first, let's look back at the legacy that changed politics and pushed the movement for racial justice forward.
Put your hands together for our leader, the Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson.
He was a civil rights leader, a politician, and community activist. Jesse Louis Jackson was born October 8, 1941 in Greenville, South Carolina. He met Jacqueline Lavinia Brown, and they were married in 1962. Together, they had 5 children. It was in a time of civil unrest and the height of the civil rights movement.
Will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood? I have a dream.
He went to work for the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and was with King when he was assassinated in 1968. It was after Dr. King's death that Jackson took the reins and became known as one of the premier leaders of the civil rights movement. In 1971, he founded a group that would later be called People United to Serve Humanity, or Operation Push. In 1984, Jesse Jackson ran for the 1984 Democratic presidential nomination, but lost to Walter Mondale. He tried again in 1988 and landed in second place in the Democratic primaries, falling to then Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis. Jackson transitioned his activism from protest to politics. It was at about the same time that he formed a group he named the National Rainbow Coalition, because it was made up of people from all races and ethnic backgrounds.
That is the unfinished business that I'm about, fighting for equal opportunity for all Americans and peace in the world.
Congratulations.
During his lifetime, Reverend Jackson collected more than 35 honorary degrees and was recognized over and over for his efforts to help those less fortunate. In 2017, Reverend Jackson was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, but he still kept a public face. In September 2021, he and his wife were hospitalized with COVID. He had been vaccinated, she had not. It affected his Parkinson's and his ability to walk and talk, and he had to undergo intensive therapy. But before long, he was back in the public eye doing what he did best, protesting injustice and bringing attention to issues for the less fortunate. Jackson once said, "Never look down on anybody unless you are helping him up." It was a mantra he lived by, one he's inspired others to continue as he leaves a significant legacy behind that helped pave the way for the modern civil rights movement we all know today. In August of 2024, the giant in the civil rights movement was honored at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago.
His contributions are innumerable. His impact and his work are in both places and ways that many people don't know. You know, I say it this way: his fingerprints are places where you might not have seen his footprints. His hands were all over so many things. Many people remember the auto bailout. Reverend Jackson was behind that. McDonald's expanding in African-American communities with tons of African-American owners and board seats. That's Reverend Jackson. And so many other things around the world. So glad that the DNC paused to give him his flowers that he deserves so much.
And in October of 2024, the city of Chicago that he has called home since 1966 gave him the key to the city.
And what a fitting way to wish Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson a very happy birthday, giving him a key to the city he is truly considered to be his home. I think it is entirely appropriate to give great men and great women flowers while they can still smell them.
Use love to motivate you and obligate you to serve the human family. Young America, dream!
And we've talked about how close Reverend Jackson was to Dr. King. Now, Bernice King posted a photo of them together. The caption says, "Both now ancestors." That's a powerful thought there. She also called him, quote, "a gifted negotiator and a courageous bridge builder." She wrote, "My family shares a long and meaningful history with him, rooted in a shared commitment to justice and love. As we grieve, we give thanks for a life that pushed hope into weary places. Reverend Jackson spent 6 decades fighting for social justice.
And while there were many defining moments, some of them were significantly engraved in Chicago history. In 1966, Jackson becomes head of the Chicago chapter of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference's economic arm, Operation Breadbasket. In 1969, he led a Black Monday protest before an estimated 3,000 people at Chicago's Daily Plaza in objection to discriminatory union hiring practices. 2 years later, he founded Operation Push on Chicago's South Side. Today, our cameras caught crews as they hung that black and purple bunting on the organization's building. Reverend Jackson stepped as Rainbow Push's leaders last year due to his health.
And several local faith leaders say Reverend Jackson made faith feel like family. One of them is Reverend Michael Neighbors from Second Baptist Church.
He was such a model for those who were entering into ministry a generation later. And his model was in so many ways as a charismatic orator. He gave new life to the words, I am somebody. He motivated an entire generation and was able to merge not only the African-American Christian faith with the current contemporary people of his day, but he was also able to do so in a way that was just endearing. He was able to put together the power and the majesty of the Black movement of the 1960s going into the 1970s like nobody has been able to do. He is going to be missed greatly, but the legacy that he leaves behind, I promise you that legacy has gone to millions and millions of African American people and also those in the United States. He's made our country a better place.
He went on to say Jackson showed a whole generation how to live their faith out loud, bringing energy to the church, the movement, and to everyone who wanted to belong and make a difference.
In a joint statement, former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama said they were deeply saddened to learn of the civil rights leader's passing. They commented on their personal connections, writing in part, Reverend Jackson created opportunities for generations of African Americans and inspired countless more, including us. Michelle got her first glimpse of political organizing at the Jackson's kitchen table when she was a teenager, and in his 2 historic runs for president, he laid the foundation for my own campaign to the highest office of the land.
Reverend Al Sharpton says Jackson taught him a lot. They've known each other since Sharpton was a teen. He says Jackson running for president twice changed politics.
It was in 1984 when he ran for president that he changed the rules that primaries were governed by, where in pre-Jackson, if you ran in New York, for example, and you got 104 delegates and your opponent got 100 delegates, your opponent got all 204 delegates. It was Jesse that made it be, no, you get your 100, they get 104. With him changing it to proportional delegate representation is how Barack Obama was made the nominee. Hillary Clinton won more big states, but he was able to accumulate more delegate votes. So he literally changed the party in '84. In '86, the midterm elections changed because he had registered so many new voters that had not been calculated before, that many of the states turned, and the U.S. Senate '86 became Democratic control and maintained a lot of the things that we would have lost under the Reagan era because Jesse Jackson registered those voters.
Sharpton also talked about the time he asked Jackson when would he retire, when would he be done?
And he's been there with us. When we did George Floyd, he was right there in the church with us when I did the eulogy. He was there with us with Trayvon Martin. He never stopped. I once said to him, you already in history, you've gotten all the honors, why do you keep going? He said, I never learned how to retire. So it has been a very sad day for me, even though we knew he was very ill. When the moment comes, you're not prepared for it.
Jackson had been in the hospital since late last year after doctors found a neurological disorder, progressive supranuclear palsy. He also had Parkinson's.
City and state flags have been ordered to fly at half-staff in honor of Jackson. With his announcement, Governor Pritzker called Jackson a giant of the civil rights movement and wrote, quote, "He broke down barriers, inspired generations, and kept hope alive. Our state, nation, and world are better due to his years of service." In 2024, Mayor Johnson gifted Reverend Jackson a key to the city for his 83rd birthday. Writing on X, Johnson said, "Reverend Jackson's mission always centered the strength and liberation of our Black community, but his mission always extended to all who needed empowerment by cultivating a rainbow of power that could shine through every storm." The statement concluded with a challenge for the public to, quote, "do something today to keep hope alive."
Jackson lived in the Jackson Park Highlands district of Chicago, and a memorial is growing outside his home.
Brett Bagansky is joining us now live from that location. Brett?
He touched a lot of lives here. It didn't matter if you never met Reverend Jesse Jackson. Maybe you met him once or twice. You were his next door neighbor, or you considered him a close family friend. They all talked about how much he inspired them to want to do more, which is why throughout the day we are seeing more and more people drop off flowers as a tribute to how much he meant to them. We even saw one woman just quietly say a prayer right in front of his home. And we got to talk to you about this woman. This is Anita O'Neill, who showed us this very old picture of her when she was a little girl on a plane to go see her grandmother in Missouri. So when she was a little girl, she didn't realize who Reverend Jackson was and the impact that he had on the civil rights movement. But she later would tell us that she was about 16 or 17 years old when she realized that, yeah, this man is such a big deal, and he was a man who inspired her. And she told us about how she met him a few more times, especially when she started working at St. Sabina. She ended up speaking with him a few more times. But we also met with Jamal Green, once a Chicago mayoral candidate, who not only calls Jackson his mentor, but a family friend. And both of them talked about how that video that has been circulating social media ever since that happened, that video that is very inspiring, and we talked about it, "I Am Somebody." That video resonated with them and inspired them to want to do more.
Trying to, just not to cry, but it is so sad that we've lost another great person for our community, for our people. I just think the world has lost a great soul. I mean, he was there almost at the beginning of when all this started with the civil rights.
I want to fight for justice for those kids who are being killed that look like me, being in a community fighting against gun violence, fighting against police brutality. Those are times where he saw me and said, this is a young guy that is somebody I want to pour into.
They all feel like we lost an icon today, but at the same time, we spoke with his next door neighbor who said at the same time he was this historic figure who was just that constant presence decades here in Chicago and throughout the rest of the country. But he was also just a normal guy who wanted to have a conversation with you. He was there for the family barbecue and for others who knew him. They also said that he was just a man who, even in his final days when it was very difficult for him to speak, he still wanted to have something to say, because even when he was not doing well, he still felt like he had a lot more to give. We are live in Jackson Park Highlands tonight. Brett Bagansky, Fox Chicago.
All right, Brett, thank you. We've talked a lot about how Reverend Jackson spoke up and pushed for change. One thing he came back to again and again was the poem, "I Am Somebody."
I am somebody. I may be a student, but I am somebody. I am proud. I must be respected. I must be protected. I am somebody. Soul power. Soul power. Right on. Right on.
Also today, Reverend Ira Ackery is the pastor at Greater St. John Bible Church right here in Chicago. He says Jackson was a mentor to himself and so many others, and that even when Jackson was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 2017, many still leaned on him for direction.
Even when he was sick, his mind was still intact. He just had physical challenges.
Yeah.
So we still could tap into his wisdom many of the 4 or 5 years enhanced sickness. But to have him gone completely, it's a big loss because he's the person who knows the political landscape. Even right now, we miss him. There's nowhere in the world that Trump would have been able to have Barack Obama and Michelle being depicted online as apes and not have Reverend Jesse Jackson speak up and really just undress him about that kind of reckless behavior from the most powerful man on the planet.
Acri says Jackson's energy never ceased to amaze him. He would get up at 4:30 in the morning to do interviews and continue to work well into the night to spread his message of equality and justice.
Leak and Sons Funeral Home now has Jesse Jackson Sr.'s body.
But the connection between the family and the funeral home began long before his passing. Tia sat down with Spencer Leak and has the story.
And my granddad told Clay Evans, instead of me finding him someplace, let him just come live with me. And so Reverend Jackson, Mrs. Jackson, Santina, and Jesse lived with my grandparents and my father. That was Reverend Jackson's first home in Chicago.
We saw the public version of Jesse Jackson. What was that like?
Yeah, everybody has seen the public version. I saw a father. I saw like an uncle, you know what I mean? Me and Jesse Jr. and Jonathan and Yusef would play in the backyard. So, you know, Reverend Jackson is this iconic figure, but I saw him as this family man playing basketball in the backyard. Last night, Miss Jackson called my mom and said, we think the time is near. And so my mom called me and said, son, you need to be ready. And about 1:30 this morning, I got a call and said that Reverend has left us. Matter of fact, we got a call and then Jonathan texted me and said, we need you.
When you think now to know that you went from a child knowing him as a father figure to now putting him to rest, essentially.
Let me just say it was the honor of my life, not when Jonathan texted me this morning, but when Jesse Jr. helped me place his dad on the removal device to take him downstairs. And I kind of this is something I do every day, all day. Of course, Jesse Jr. doesn't do that, but I kind of just step back and let Jesse kind of do it himself. And we took him down the elevator. Jesse rode in the hearse back to the funeral home, took his dad out of the hearse. And then I can tell you this, I placed his dad in the very same spot where we had Sam Cooke, where his father, I showed Jesse the door. I said, your dad came in this door and stood right where we're standing as they were visiting with Sam Cooke, Jesse, and Muhammad Ali. And we had Reverend Jackson right there.
Funeral arrangements are currently underway with House of Hope emerging as a possible location for the services.
Coming up at 4:30, we're talking about how Reverend Jackson made a difference for young people.
Plus, the race for Cook County Board President, who's running the primary, and how the issue of property taxes could drive voters to the polls.
Plus, looking back at a tragedy that still hurts, the E2 nightclub stampede. One mother opens up about loss 23 years later.
Village leaders in Oak Brook say ICE could soon be moving into one of their office spaces. We'll tell you how they found out about the news and what they plan on doing. We're live with all those details coming up at 4:30.
And we have a couple warm days still ahead of us, but it's coming along with a threat of at least a couple strong, maybe even severe thunderstorms coming our way on Thursday. Those details in your forecast is coming up.
Oak Brook Village president says local officials only found out about a new federal tenant after the media asked questions.
So now the village is confirming that Immigration and Customs Enforcement is operating out of office space in town in the same building where Lewis University is leasing space.
Let's go to Leslie Moreno. She is live with details. Leslie.
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, and because of that news, village leaders here say the university has moved some of its classes online in the meantime. Important to note here, village leaders say the office will not be used as a detention center. They tell us they're being told by DHS that the office will be used for administrative purposes only. Village leaders here in Oak Brook say they only learned about a possible lease to the Department of Homeland Security after a media inquiry last week. At the time, officials say they had no confirmation that Immigration and Customs Enforcement was the tenant. It wasn't until last Friday when police were called to the building for a report of vandalism that the village says it was able to confirm ICE had space there. The village president says he was told the location is being used for administrative offices only and that there is no detention associated with the site. The village president says Lewis University decided to move some classes online out of caution, and as long as DHS continues to use the space for administrative purposes, they are compliant with village zoning rules.
And there are a lot of heightened emotions around ICE. As I said, we're a municipality. We're focused on doing what we can control, which is providing, public services and running our village. We don't get involved in matters outside of our borders. We don't think it's appropriate for us to do so. They are operating there lawfully. I can't control what they do. They're a lawful user of the property.
Village leaders say they are in touch with local police as well as other agencies, and they do have a plan in place should they need extra security. We did reach out to the university for comment as well. We also reached out to DHS to see how long they plan on being in town, and we are still waiting to hear back. For now, reporting live here in Oak Brook, Leslie Moreno, Fox Chicago.
All right, let's take a breather and take a live look outside. Not a bad day.
No, not bad.
Did we see the sun much?
Yeah. I didn't get out. Did we see the sun, Emily?
We had the sun early today, mainly during the morning, but by midday we were already kind of clouding things back over. And now, as you could just see from that shot there, it's awfully cloudy outside, and we're actually waiting on rain chances to arrive here in the next few hours. We have south-southeasterly winds, so places like Waukegan significantly cooler, down to 43 degrees, but it's 54 at O'Hare, 55 in Gary. Same thing in Aurora, 56 in Joliet, 55 in Morris, and it's 56 degrees in Rensselaer. The radar still quiet over Chicagoland, but notice off to our west and southwest, we're starting to see those showers developing, and then that's going to be arriving throughout the evening. The overnight, there's a very small chance that we could be seeing a couple rumbles of thunder, but no strong or severe thunderstorms are expected tonight. In fact, most of this is likely just going to be scattered rain shower activity. Then tomorrow, we have very gusty winds on tap, low relative humidity. Temperatures are going to be soaring into the mid, maybe even sneaking into the upper 60s. So we actually have a fire weather watch that's been issued for locations that you can see here, especially across northeastern Illinois. And essentially what this means is that outdoor burning is not recommended, and any fires could spread very rapidly on Wednesday. And then by Thursday, we have another storm system coming through, and that's going to be bringing in the threat of strong to severe thunderstorms, especially for locations along and south of I-80. Southern Newton and Jasper counties actually highlighted in a slight risk from the Storm Prediction Center. That's a level 2 of 5. So for tonight, 50 degrees, very mild conditions. Tomorrow we're in the 60s, lots of sunshine during the day. Thursday we have that storm chance, highs near 59. Then we drop to the 40s on Friday, drying things out over the weekend. Temperatures this weekend will be in the 30s. Back to you.
All right, still to come, faith education and civil rights. We continue remembering Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Coming up, how he helped to inspire some of today's elected officials.
And it's been 23 years since tragedy struck at the E2 nightclub on Motor Row. How families of loved ones are remembering the victims.
at getwindonation.com.
Right now at 4:30, a leading voice for civil rights honoring the legacy of Reverend Jesse Jackson.
We are just 1 month out from the Illinois primary. A look at the race for Cook County president.
But first, today marking a dark day in the city's history as families affected by the E2 nightclub tragedy are paying tribute to their loved ones who never made it home.
Casey Cronus is live in the South Loop with the latest. Casey.
That's right, Terrence and Sylvia. It's been 23 years since panic and confusion set in during a night out here on Motor Row. 21 people were killed in the early morning hours of February 17, 2003 at the E2 nightclub. A security guard had used pepper spray to break up a fight, but fear quickly spread through the club, with patrons worried it was a gas attack. Hundreds of people rushed toward the exit, falling down the steep, narrow staircase, landing on top of each other and becoming trapped. The club, marred by building violations, shouldn't have been open to begin with. This afternoon, we spoke with Demetra Carwell's mom. Demetra was 23 years old, and her mother, Mary, was watching her young daughter, waiting for her to come home, when she learned the news on TV that something had gone terribly wrong. Today, on the tragic anniversary, Mary experienced another wave of emotion when she learned of Reverend Jesse Jackson's death. He took her from hospital to hospital that morning until she found her daughter.
Oh my God, I was so thankful because he stood by my side and stayed there with me until we found her. And that was a blessing for him to do that. He didn't have to do that. She was so much of a person that loved life, loved people, outgoing, so understanding, and she loved her sisters and brothers.
The former club was demolished in December of 2024 after months of back and forth between the building's owner and the city's Landmarks Commission. It has sat vacant ever since. Third Ward Alderman Pat Dowell's team tells us she is committing to supporting a permanent memorial here. The developer had originally talked about that when he did change the site, but so far no plans have been announced. Reporting live in the South Loop, Casey Cronus, Fox Chicago.
All right, Casey, thank you. We're continuing our look back at Reverend Jesse Jackson's life. A student athlete drawn to the civil rights movement.
Jackson was a star quarterback on his high school's football team and accepted a football scholarship from the University of Illinois, but later transferred to North Carolina.
He got to campus in 1960, not long after students there started sit-ins at white-only lunch counters. Jackson jumped right into the movement. He soon connected with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and became one of his proteges. For 6 decades, he stood up for the poor and the underrepresented. He pushed for voting rights, better education, and healthcare access. In his final years, a rare brain disorder made it harder for him to move and speak, but there's one speech of his we really wanted to share. Back in 1984, he spoke at the DNC. The big idea was unity, but he wrapped up talking about hope and change. Let's hear a piece of that.
I just want young America to do me one favor. Just one favor. Exercise the right to dream. You must face reality, that which is, but then dream of the reality that ought to be, that must be. Live beyond the pain of reality with the dream of a bright tomorrow. Use hope and imagination as weapons of survival and progress. Use love to motivate you and obligate you to serve the human family. Young America, dream!
16th Ward Alderman Stephanie Coleman grew up spending her Saturdays at Rainbow Push. Her mother retired as the 16th Ward Alderman and was close to Jackson. Coleman says Jesse Jackson was a strong influence on her and other black politicians.
As a young child,
I felt like I was somebody because Reverend Jackson told me that I was somebody, that no matter the color of my skin, my religious belief, that I was somebody. And the inspiration that I received as a young child, some 35 years ago, right there on Drexel, made me know and believe that when I went back to Inglewood, that I was somebody, and to always keep hope alive.
Coleman says Reverend Jackson will be honored at tomorrow's city council meeting.
Father Flager from St. Sabina says he spent Monday night praying with the Jackson family. He talked with us about the Reverend's lasting impact.
I think about what he did for schools and for education, what he did to fight for equality in businesses and corporate America. I mean, when corporations got a call saying Reverend Jackson was coming to meet with them, they changed behavior. They knew that he was serious and he was committed and he was going to put a spotlight on what was wrong. Anywhere where there were civil rights being neglected or denied, Reverend Jackson was there.
Father Flager is challenging people to honor Reverend Jackson by registering to vote in the midterms and by teaching a child about his legacy.
Still to come, property taxes. Will bills be mailed on time?
And can the past drama of delayed bills play a role in the primary elections?
And it's the year of the horse galloping in. We're going to show you how to maximize luck and prosperity for the coming year. I'm Joni Lum. That's coming up.
If you want total health care from a provider you trust,
hi, Blair.
Right in the palm of your hand? If you want soup, sweatpants, and zero in-person contact. If you want wellness wherever. Our virtual primary care delivers with great website manner.
No worries.
So choose your doctor from our profiles and enjoy the healthiest online relationship you've ever had. House calls have evolved. Advocate Healthcare.
Local.
Today is Lunar New Year. Chicago families have been preparing to welcome spring.
Joni Lum is live in Chinatown where shoppers are stocking up for the Year of the Horse. We practiced.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah, the Year of the Horse is coming in hot this year. Asian Lunar New Year, it is about inviting good luck and prosperity into your home, spending time with family, and yes, people are doing their last-minute shopping. We are at Park to Shop in Chinatown. People are getting ready for those family gatherings, and you see a lot of the color red around me. Red is good luck. Wearing red can bring you good luck. The Chinese eat symbolic foods to set a good tone for the new year, foods that will represent abundance and living well. It's a good day for indulgence, so that means you'll eat well for the coming year. Oranges are given as gifts representing gold. Lettuce, mushrooms, dumplings, they all symbolize money. It can take a lifetime to learn all of these customs of culture, so just remember to have a positive attitude so you can receive your good fortune.
We always like to eat whole fish, right? So for this one, my favorite's actually on here. It's the golden pomfret. In Cantonese, we call gamchongyu. Something else we have, like mandarin oranges are also very popular, specifically the ones with leaves. You can eat them, but also put them as an offering to your ancestors. In general, this whole table has things that would give your family wealth and prosperity going into the new year.
So it is all about family, but this is a great holiday for children because they receive cash money in these red envelopes. Some of them are really cleaning up this year. Also, you may have noticed that the Year of the Fire Horse is really trending, and we think we know why. But we'll talk about that in my next report. In Chinatown, Joni Lum, Fox Chicago.
Some questions for you,
Yeah.
Joni. We're putting together our menu for tonight. I'm getting duck. Sylvia wants noodles.
I'm gonna do dumplings and noodles,
Yeah,
Joni.
but the bigger question is, what is a cocktail we can have to fit the theme?
You know, I'm no expert on that, so whatever makes you happy. Maybe a red one if you want to have good luck.
Red wine.
Lychee flavor is my favorite, so go for that lychee martini.
Oh, I love it.
Here.
I love a good lychee martini. Yeah, and we should have worn red. We didn't wear red.
I told you I have on red. You just can't see it.
Okay. Well, that's a little TMI, right, Joni?
Yeah. That's okay. That little bit is going to bring Terrence good luck, and I hope I'm invited to this good luck dinner that you're going to have. Long life noodles. Great idea, Sylvia.
Okay, I'm getting noodles too. Awesome. Thank you, Joni. Fat Tuesday.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Mardi Gras, they're lining up on the same day this year. It doesn't happen often.
No, it doesn't. So enjoy some king cake with those dumplings. Mardi Gras marks the end of the Carnival season. In New Orleans, crowds packed parts of the city this morning for a final round of those parades. The celebrations have been rolling for weeks with more than 70 parades this year, but all the partying ends tonight. Tomorrow is Ash Wednesday, the start of Lent for Christians.
Yeah, we would show you like a live look down there, but that live look is never safe. So we're going to show you this live look. You never know what you're going to see out there
so true.
on Bourbon Street. Emily, what are we seeing right there?
Well, this live look doesn't look much like a party, does it?
No.
No, it's not nearly as pretty as what we've been experiencing over the last couple of days. We've kind of clouded things over, and now we're waiting on our rain chances going into this evening. So we do have scattered showers that are going to be arriving this evening into tonight, and it's all going to clear out of here before daybreak on Wednesday. But tonight, temperatures stay so mild. We're only dropping down to about 50 degrees, although we will have gusty winds as high as about 30 miles per hour. And speaking of gusty winds, outdoor burning, highly not recommended tomorrow because we have that fire weather watch that's going to be in effect for all of northeastern Illinois. Tomorrow's temperatures 66 degrees, very windy, lots of sun, and then we have showers and thunderstorms on tap for Thursday. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Our Fox 32 debate series is continuing tonight. And if you didn't get to see last night, you definitely want to tune in because Paris is joining us with the preview for the next one.
All right, plus news, you can use the RSS. Tax refunds are bigger this year. We'll explain why.
It's yours.
All right, let's check in on Wall Street. Stocks were all over the place, but the major index is still closed up. Big tech names wobbled after last week's AI-led sell-off. We'll get a better idea tomorrow about what the Fed was thinking last month. The Fed is dropping minutes from its January meeting when it put rate cuts on hold. Wobble, wobble, wobble.
How about that? Early data from the IRS shows taxpayers are actually getting refunds that are about 11% higher than last year. According to the latest filing season statistics, the typical check is slightly less than $2,300. That's up by about $35 from last year. Tax accountants credit the slightly larger checks to retroactive tax cuts and new deductions for tips and overtime pay. And just a reminder, tax day is Wednesday, April 15th.
2,300. Okay, quick update. We're told Cook County tax bills should show up by March 2nd. Then you've got until April 1st to pay. Last year's tech issues, we'll call them, delayed the bill. So this time, the county is giving everyone extra time to pay. Online pay starts February 20th. Payment plans are available if you need one.
And property taxes may play a role in the upcoming primary.
Oh, I think it'll come up. Paris Schutz is in the studio now with a preview of his debate with the people in the race for Cook County Board President.
Yeah, Terrence and Sylvia, I think it'll come up.
Yeah.
I know the moderator, and I think the moderator wants to ask about that because remember, those last installment property taxes were several months late because of some technology issues at the county. So tonight, we have Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle. She is seeking her 5th term leading the county, and she is going up against Brendan Riley, the longtime 42nd Ward alderman in Chicago City Council. Riley has been critical of Preckwinkle over those property taxes, as well as over the Cook County criminal justice system. But Preckwinkle, as you might have seen in commercials, has been critical of Riley back, alleging that he is close to Trump. With all those videos showing Riley supporting the building of the Trump Tower all those years ago and standing next to Trump. So we expect this is their first joint appearance and one of their only ones in this debate. We expect this is going to be very interesting. And I've been saying this all day. This office is very important. It touches so many aspects of the 6 million people who live in Cook County, from criminal justice, immigration, healthcare, taxes, crime, you name it. It's all going to be part of the debate tonight.
And just
6
like
o'clock.
Just like last night, the candidates will be sitting up here
Sitting
with
right
you.
there.
So we're
No
getting the
holds
seats
barred.
warm for them right now.
Yeah, we're just going to get into it.
Yeah.
All right. Looking forward to it, Paris.
Should be good. Thank you, Paris.
Last night was very interesting.
Yes, it was. And everyone should be watching because this is a primary and you need to get out there and vote. And you've got to have that information. And that's what Paris is making happen for us.
Important.
Yeah.
Got to have this information too. A look at how the roads are looking.
How they looking?
Some red, some yellow.
Too bad, though.
What that means, I don't know. But get to wherever you're going safely, folks. Beep, beep, toot, toot.
Said
We'll be
the
right
city
back.
dweller.
Yeah, exactly.
Chicago. on Fox.
Okay.
Look at
back
the
outside.
glassy lake,
You
huh?
said you outside, but you ain't that outside. Sorry.
We're on TV now.
I know.
Catch me outside.
Yeah, what can we expect?
Yeah, what? I didn't get out today. Was it still kind of mild?
Very mild.
Yeah.
So again, today we ended up seeing some temperatures for a lot of us that were in the 50s. Right now we're still in the 50s. It's very mild. I think tonight we're expected to see low temperatures still holding steady right around the upper 40s to low 50s. So the mild air, it's here to stay for a few more days. Your highs, we topped out at 58 in DeKalb, 62 in LaSalle, 59 in Joliet. Same thing in Gary, 57 in Merrillville, hit 53 degrees in Waukegan, 59 in Joliet, and 56 degrees in Kankakee. Same thing in Rensselaer. Here's where things stand right now. Running a little bit cooler across portions of the area because of that southeasterly wind flow coming in right off of Lake Michigan. So places like Waukegan have actually dropped down to about 44, but it's still 54 degrees at O'Hare. The radar right now showing that we have some rain that is developing off to our west. This is a sign of things to come. So we're going to have some scattered rain showers building in here over the next few hours. That's going to last through the evening and into the early morning hours. But any rainfall is going to be out of here before daybreak on Wednesday. So that's going to set us up for a really nice day tomorrow. But something that we're going to have to keep a close eye on tomorrow is, one, it's going to be very, very warm. We're looking at highs that are going to be in the 60s, but it's coming along with very gusty winds. We'll have west-southwesterly winds gusting as high as 35 to 40 miles per hour. In addition to very low relative humidity. So that's going to be kind of a dangerous combination for any outdoor burning. So you are highly recommended not to have any sort of outdoor burning tomorrow. We have a fire weather watch that has been issued for most of northeastern Illinois that is going to last from Wednesday morning through Wednesday night. And then after tomorrow, attention then is going to turn to our next storm system coming through. That's going to be bringing in the chance of maybe a couple strong or severe thunderstorms to look out for on Thursday. And if this does come to fruition on Thursday, I think the time frame that we're a little more concerned about is going to be late afternoon into the evening hours with some of those strong, maybe severe thunderstorms. So here's what the Storm Prediction Center is showing. Areas especially along and south of I-80 in a marginal risk. That's a level 1 of 5. And then in southern Newton and Jasper counties, that risk jumps to a slight risk. That's a level 2 of 5. So slightly elevated the farther south that you go. Your 5-day forecast here as far as temperatures are concerned, soak in that warmth while we have it. 60s tomorrow. We're in the 50s then to near 60 degrees on Thursday. But then following Thursday's storm system, temperatures begin to take a dive. So 45 degrees, that's your high on Friday. I think we're going to hit that in the early morning hours. Most of the daytime, we're likely going to spend in the upper 30s to low 40s. Futurecast taking us throughout this evening and tonight. Again, we do have those showers moving through, but once the cold front clears the area, I think we're going to be clearing out the cloud cover through the day tomorrow as well. So lots of sunshine on Wednesday. Highs near 66, 59 degrees, showers and thunderstorms expected on Thursday. On Friday, we're going to dry things out. Skies are also going to remain partly sunny. We're in the mid 40s for highs on Friday. And then 30s take shape for the weekend ahead. We'll be right back.